Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 9. We're over here on the tutorial island and today we're going to be talking about another little Lumostone lighting trick that I have learnt. Going through and doing the Halloween build, I learnt about how to do this, so I'm going to teach you guys how to build lightning out of Lumostone here in SkySaga. So we quickly have a look at the wall over here. You can see I've built up a kind of really small little lightning run. It kind of comes from the top here and it branches both ways and finally hits the ground over here. Now if I stand on this pressure plate that's in front of me, you'll see that this thing runs incredibly quickly, and that's exactly what we want because it is supposed to be lightning, so it's supposed to move quite fast. Now the cool thing about this is that this system actually is really simple and really easy to use. This massive Lumostone over here runs this entire circuit, but each light only takes 3 individual Lumostone gates to run, and then you just need those 3 repeated over and over again depending on how many lights you actually want in your sequence. So in my case I have 6 lights in my sequence because I pair these 2 together so that they act at the same time, which makes it look like the lightning kind of forks and then jumps down. Obviously when you run this in bigger runs it does look a little bit better because it actually takes a little bit more time to run through the entire run, but even at a small scale this still looks pretty cool. So let's head up to the surface and I'll show you guys how to build this one. Okay, so let's build this thing. Now what you're going to need is obviously some output lights, and then for each output light that you have you're going to need 2 AND gates and a NOT gate, and that's about it. We'll talk about inputs to this system in a little while when we get down to the bottom down here, but for now we're going to place down our 4 lights and then we're going to place down the rest of this stuff. I'm going to link it all up. It is actually a pretty simple circuit to do. So first of all we're going to place down all of our lights. In my case I'm just going to run them in a row along in front of me. Now the next thing I want to do is take out my AND gates. Now I want 4 AND gates pointing all down the line just like this. So we've got 4 that just kind of like run into each other back to back just like that. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our NOT gates and run those sideways off each of these AND gates just like this. So as you can see I've got my AND gates. These are the delay AND gates essentially, so these go down this way down the circuit, and then we've got the NOT gates that run towards the lights. Now the final thing we need to place down here is more AND gates, so we place an AND gate facing the same way as our NOT gate. Now this is our output AND gate, so this is the important one, and that one's going to link off to the lights in just half a second. Now this circuit is really easy. All we need to do is run down this line, connecting the AND gate to the next AND gate down the line, connecting it to A and B. So if we take the output of this AND gate, put it into this one at A, and into this one at B. Now, when you've done this, you'll notice a faint little glow at both the A port and the B port. It's a little bit hard to pick up, but it is one quick way of checking if you actually have connected these things correctly. And so once again, we're just going to connect this up to A and B at the same time, because essentially these guys running down this line, as I said before, they're acting a little bit like a delay. So the calculation that it takes for the AND gate to work out if it is actually being turned on is what we're using to delay the circuit. So as you can see, we've got flashing at top and bottom there, I'm pretty sure. Just going to You can also double check this by clicking here and making sure that you've got both A and B well lit. If you do, you can just hit escape and you've still got that Lumo line, then you can just break it anywhere else. So here we go. Now we've got that line hooked up. That's fine and easy. The next thing we're going to do is actually a bit of repetition. So we're going to take the delay AND gate, which is this guy here, and we're going to run the delay AND gate into the NOT gate. We're also then going to run the delay AND gate into the A side of the output AND gate, just like that. Then we're going to run the NOT gate into the B side of the output AND gate, just like that. So now we're going to do that as many times as we need to finish out the rest of the circuit. So delay AND gate goes into the NOT gate and into the A side, just like this, and then the NOT gate goes into the B side, just like that. Now once again, going down further, the delay NOT gate goes into the, delay AND gate goes into the NOT gate, and the delay AND gate goes into the A side of the output, and the NOT gate goes into the B side of the output. Once again, these guys, you can actually see the lines for the delay AND gate, and you can also see the really bright red buzz, or whatever color buzz of your Lumostone lines. from the NOT gate, because that is going to be on while this circuit is just sitting here doing nothing. Then of course finally we're going to run down to the back here and we're going to do the same thing, delay AND gate into the NOT gate, and delay AND gate all the way through into the A side over here, NOT gate into the B side, bam bam bam. And once we've got all of that set up, we're going to hook these guys through into the actual light. So each of the outputs goes into one light or multiple lights if you're going to do the little split that I did in my little Lumostone lightning that we had down in the under area. And there we go. This circuit is actually now pretty much complete at this point in time. So this will start working and doing what we want it to do. But this is where the triggering comes in and how you can actually trigger this thing. So all of these little bits that we've got set up here are basically just a rising edge pulse. So that means when this guy turns on, this flicks once and that gives that nice bright spark that you saw as we did the lightning earlier. So to output this, to trigger this, there is a very simple way of doing it, and that is by putting down a pressure plate and just linking that to the first gate in the line. So if we just take the pressure plate and link it to the A side and to the B side of this first gate in the line, every time we stand on this pressure plate, the lightning is going to trigger, and then it's not going to do anything else while we're still standing on it, because this line is now fully powered, which means that the rising edges are just going to sit there and do nothing. So this is a one-step-on trigger, just like that, and you could hook this up to whatever you like in a circuit and it would give you a little trigger just like this. So this is quite cool and quite interesting, and relatively usable for most of you out there. You can also, of course, set this up to trigger while you're standing on it and just keep cycling while you're standing on it. And you can also set this up just to cycle continuously from the word go when you actually first start the island. So to get it to cycle continuously, you need 2 NOT gates. Now this is actually a bit of a weird system, and it's basically a quirk of the way that all of this stuff works. So what we're going to do is we're going to link the 2 NOT gates together to create a node, and then we're going to link the NOT gate into the output, to the inputs A and B of our very first AND gate, just like that. And now we're going to take this guy, the final AND gate in our set, and we're going to run that into our node just like this. Now, what you should see is these guys are going to start pulsing very, very quickly, and why that happens is because as this circuit got an update, this NOT gate was on for a very, very brief amount of time, which was enough to power this circuit, which means that this circuit is now just going to keep running and running and running and running, and it means that when you start the island, that same pulse is going to happen through, and this circuit is just going to run forever and ever and ever and ever. So this is really great if you've got a set of lights that need to run really, really quickly, potentially in a spiral, and you want them just to run forever and ever and ever and ever. So this is the system that you can use to do that. So we're going to quickly break this line so that this guy stops working, because now I want to show you how to get this to run when and only when you're actually standing on a pressure plate. So to get this to work only when you give it an input, all you're going to need is an input, 2 more AND gates, and a NOT gate. So we're going to start by placing our new input down. So this is our new input. This is going to be the one that makes this only work when I'm actually standing on this pressure plate, just like this. We're also going to take an AND gate, and we're going to throw that down here. We're then going to take another AND gate, and we're going to throw that down over here and put a NOT gate back and 1 from it, just like that. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to link our output AND gate over here. This is the last AND gate in this line. We're going to run that over to the new AND gate we've placed down and just stick it into into port A up the top there. We're going to take our output, our new input device, and we're going to plug that into port B down the bottom there. And then we're going to actually run this guy into both the A side and the B side of this gate at the start here. So just like that, A and B, bam and bam. So now this isn't actually going to do anything right now because we need to give this system a kickstart. So that's what this is here. These 2 gates create another rising edge pulse, so we're going to run those together. So the input that you want needs to run into the NOT gate and into the A side of this AND gate. Then we're going to take the NOT gate and put it into the B side of this AND gate. And now we're going to run this, finally going to run this AND gate into the A side and into the B side, down like that. So now what happens when we kick this whole thing off, when I stand on here, we get a quick pulse, comes out of this thing and runs into the gate, and then that's going to run through this AND gate, which is also going to be active when we're standing on here, and it's going to mean that this gate, this thing pulses round and round and round while I'm sitting here, just like that. So while I'm standing exactly on this plate, or you could hook this up to a latch or whatever you like, while that thing is turned on, this is just going to keep flashing on and on and on and on and on, but then if we stand off or turn the latch off, you can see it stops immediately, and then I can stand back on it again, and it's going to start back up again, and it's just going to keep going round and round and round and round and round, and be very, very quick. So depending on how you want this circuit to be activated, you have 3 different options, and yeah, it's probably going to mean that this circuit is a lot more usable and useful for a whole bunch of you. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that one, and I will see you in the next video.